and gentlemen, hailing from Griff's Kitchen, Golan-Globus Theater.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So glad I'm not trying to do a voice here. Just normal voice Griff.
Yeah.
We've got a lot lined up. Probably not as much as last week because we took it a little too long with that.
Yeah.
Half an hour, 40 minutes to open an episode. No longer. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's streamline it to 37 minutes.
37 minutes. You heard it here first. We're streamlining it. So we got some good news. We got some bad news. So
Well,
why don't you serve up that good news?
Well, first, the good news is today we got download number. It's the perfect number for Schlocktober, dude.
That's
perfect.
amazing. I really enjoy how that worked out. I was very thrilled this morning.
Hardly
to see
any
that.
of those are bots. That's how great it is.
Oh my god, it's so few.
Even though we do have the sexiest bots of any.
We really do.
podcast.
We keep track of our bots, make sure they're doing well because you know what? We care about everybody and we care about bots.
But Griff, we got some bad news as well.
Oh, thick.
Apparently, I didn't know this, but me and your brother are feuding.
Yeah, you guys are feuding?
Yeah, I didn't know it. I first of all, I forgot you had a brother, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
But what happened was, I logged onto our Twitter because I'm the only one who checks our Twitter until I noticed I got a notification.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's fucking geek because nobody ever talks to us on Twitter because it's fucking Donald Trump ruined Twitter. It's like for old people to bitch about shit now. But hey, I'm old. So I was like, oh, great. And so I click on, and there's just this GIF of this wrestler guy kicking a little girl in the head.
Okay.
And it's from your brother.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I contacted you, and you're like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with him.
Yeah.
So then the wheels start spinning. I'm like, what did we do? What did we do? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember. I mentioned your brother on our Stone Cold episode.
Yeah.
And now I know why he's pissed off. Because now, keep in mind, I didn't say anything about his family, I didn't say anything about his wife, or his children. I said something about the person he really loves most in life, Kenny Omega.
Right.
Who was the wrestler in this gift. And now, if you're like a regular person, you have a life, you probably go like, who the fuck is Kenny Omega? I did too. So I researched him for you guys. Kenny Omega is a wrestler. But he's not good enough to be in the WWF, okay? He's just like this nobody indie guy. But for whatever reason, I don't know your brother. We had many discussions today. I don't know your brother. But he loves this guy. Would you agree?
I mean, he does have a life-size poster of him in his office.
I'm shocked your brother has an office, first of all. But, yeah. And so he's this guy. He's got this... I think this is where it really hit your brother below the belt. He's got this nasty, he's like a white guy, but he's got like a Jerry curl, crunchy, permed hair. I think I was ripping on that a little, and I think that got under your brother's skin.
That's really the only notable thing you mention about Kenny O. I mean,
that's all I know. Who the fuck cares about this guy?
He's a pretty talented wrestler.
Well, he's not talented enough to be in the WWF, which is like the major leagues.
I mean, I can't make an argument there. He's not here.
He's no Roman Reigns, is what I'm saying.
That's
Reigns,
a wrestler, right? That's a champion right there. He's got champion. He's probably got eagle blood running through him.
He looks like he's got.
So where's this going, Tim? What's happening here?
I don't know because, like I said, I forgot you had a brother, and now he's like he's coming at me pretty fucking fierce.
Yeah,
and I got to retaliate. I can't take this shit. But your brother's not getting it through normal. Like a normal person would talk to another normal person. So I'm going to talk to him the only way he can understand. And I'm going to talk to him in a wrestling promo.
Oh.
So, what's your brother's name again?
It's John.
So, Ron, this is for you.
Hello, folks back home. Luscious Lukewarm here with former tag team champion and recent name chain adopter, Dr. Tim Graham. Now, Dr. Graham, you were recently called out on social media despite being out of the game for some time now.
That's Dr. Tim Graham, Esquire, you idiot. That's right. I'm a doctor and a lawyer, and my doctorate is an ass-kicking. Let me tell you something, Luke. The last time I was in Livonia, I wanted a woman. A woman, Luke. So I went downtown looking looking for a woman, but I couldn't find any women. I found men who looked like women, and that's where you belong, Johnny Hefferman. Who do you think you are talking to the doctor like that? That's why I'm, for one night only, reuniting the New Age Graham brothers and challenging you, the young cucks, Johnny Hefferman and his golden lover Kenny Omega, to a Nanchang tag team death match in a cage so you can't escape me, brother. That's right. Me and my brother-in-arms, Golden Griffey Graham, are going to destroy you. He may not be my brother by blood, but he's my brother in spirit, the spirit of kicking your ass. And I'm so confident we're gonna win, I'm putting my Nang Chen tail on the line, brother. That's right. If I lose, and I won't, I will shave my head and the screaming eagle of Brother Griffey. And if you lose, and you will, I will shave the nasty locks off both you punks.
You are aware, Dr. Graham, that Johnny Half-a-Man, as you so cruelly call him, shaves his head?
Of course I am, stupid. You think I'm blind? But I can't wait to get my hands on that greasy, curly, crunchy mopper slop Omega calls his hair. When I'm done, he'll regret ever getting a perm. So what's it gonna be, Jaundice Johnny Half-a-Man? Do you know why they call him Jaundice Luscious Luke?
Doctor, I have no idea.
Because he's yellow! But he's gonna be black and blue, and I'm done with him, and that's just what the doctor ordered.
Well, you heard it here, folks. The gauntlet has been thrown. We may be witnessing the revival of the New Age Graham Brothers, and I'm confident the wrestling world is not ready for the devastation they would certainly sow. Will the Young Cucks accept this dubious challenge? Wow. Well, that certainly seems like it could squash some beef. I mean,
I hope so. There's no way I could come back from something as fierce as that fucking wrestling promo was. So, I think your brother's put in this place, and we're done. We squashed it.
I mean, we're definitely going to have to get Lukewarm out there to see what he's got to say about it. Maybe we can get him to respond. But till then, I mean, let's get started with this. God, do you call this a movie?
Do we have to talk about this movie? I just want to apologize to everyone listening to this, because we were just mentioning, the only good thing about this movie is it'll make Life Force a really great episode look so much better in comparison, because we always bitch about Life Force doesn't get the love it should get, which I still agree with. But this movie, I mean, let's just come full force. The reason we even picked this movie is we wanted to do like this. Look, it's Halloween time. It's my favorite time of the year, Griff. I don't know about you. And we love our fucking Halloween in Detroit, especially. We burn the city down every Devil's Night, which I learned. A lot of places don't have Devil's Night. I thought that was like everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I grew up terrified of Devil's Night.
No, well, when I was a kid, it was more just your bargain basement toilet paper and trees and like rotten eggs at houses. It was like mischief shit. And then sometime like the mid '80s, early '90s, it went crazy and people were burning houses down.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on ABC News.
But I will say, if anybody listening outside of Detroit, they were abandoned houses. People weren't setting, but unfortunately, there were houses next to abandoned houses that would catch fire from the houses. But yeah, so we love this time of year, and so we wanted to do horror movies. We still wanted to keep in line with our.
We tried really hard to scrape out what horror movies like our normal stars would do, and
right.
There's not a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and I learned also why I love 80s action so much, because this movie stank. This was a 2000-something.
2009.
And it was a straight-to-DVD movie.
And I got to tell you, people, I looked this up, people were pretty thrilled that Steven Seagal was doing, something other than his normal action movies.
Yeah, he was doing no action in this movie.
Yeah, he absolutely did no
inaction. This was an inaction movie.
This is Steven Seagal at his most inactive. Well, I mean, if anyone's seen him since he bloated out,
yeah,
that's his MO now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we're gonna this is gonna if we actually get paid to do this, we'd be earning our money tonight, because this movie's pretty fucking rough, and we're gonna try to get through as quickly as possible.
Well,
and
there's no details to the movie, so
yeah, it's very confusing.
We're gonna be able to get through it like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would describe it is, somebody found a script in the trash at Sci-Fi Network, the Sci-Fi Originals, and said, "Hey, put Steven Seagal in this. This will be a hit."
Oh yeah,
and it wasn't.
So
let's just let's get to our boy Steven Seagal and the almighty Nang Chin Tail, and Against the Dark.
If there was anyone left, they would have come for us already.
It's just us and them.
Vampire hunters,
Ex-military guys who were trained to kill.
led by a master swordsman,
We're here to decide who lives and dies.
will stop at nothing to save the human race.
We're gonna make it, even if it kills us.
No.
Steven Seagal. Against the Dark.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going on.
On DVD.
So, the one thing I noticed about this trailer is that there's actually light. And, you know, we always like to use our back to the shadows. When you really watch this movie, we just watched it on Crackle because why would you pay for this piece of shit?
Right.
Dark as fuck. Couldn't see shit.
Well, I think it makes less sense that the trailer was light because we're dealing with a vampire movie, and the vampires can't be in the light.
Yeah, it's true, but
But are these vampires? We're still not sure.
Yeah, they tell us they're vampires.
Well, they say they're infected.
Every single thing on Crackle that described the movie tells you they're vampires.
Yeah, and I was hyped. I was like, he's gonna fight Dracula or
Yeah.
some shit. And it's like,
And
no.
even the people in the movie call them vampires, and then finally later on somebody goes, "Well, technically they're not vampires."
Yeah, we don't know because they do drink blood.
They do.
And they don't want to go out in the sunlight.
It-
Even though we never see anyone, we know why, because they never get like disintegrated by the sun. But
No.
we know they don't want to be out in the sunlight. But we also, you notice this, they don't technically eat guts. They like playing with them. They're just
Yeah.
like rubbing their hands through guts.
They're always like slapping them against their face, and it's fucking. I hate. Thank you. But I mean, what was the main plot they unveiled? Because they like open us up, and it's just like cuts of the cities burning, and
it's very
people-
lot of choppy editing, and it's like this virus is taking over the world.
Yeah, it's very Resident Evil.
There are I was thinking the exact same thing. It was like a shittier version of a Resident Evil movie, and they're not that great to begin with.
Yeah, no,
But I'd
they're
rather
not.
watch a Resident Evil movie,
Oh, fuck
any
yeah.
of them over this. But so yeah, so it's a classic. Like anytime there's an apocalyptic movie, you show people rioting and all the stock footage of rioting and
Yeah.
all that shit. And then they I think they recorded like 30 seconds of the infected playing with guts, and they reused those choppy cuts over and over and over.
Oh,
again.
yeah,
'Cause everybody
definitely.
has the exact same flashbacks, like no
Yep.
matter what character they are, and there's these scenes, and they're like, yeah, so the infected. There's some people who are immune to this disease, not a lot, and
I thought they were building it up in that moment where they're like, nobody's immune. We don't know if anybody's immune.
well, then they might at the beginning it might have been like, well, because remember it. I mean, we're not going to spoil anything because nobody cares about this movie.
Yeah.
But at the end, there's that one guy who's like, hey, I'll go down that elevator. I'm immune.
I know, but that was the thing. They build it up like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know if anybody's immune. And just like everything else in this movie, like you're flying a kite, they're just like, oh, by the way, here's this little detail. I'm immune.
Well, see, and of course, we know the army is inept. They can't handle this. So what happens, these people called hunters rise up. And they're just katana-wielding badasses who wear leather dusters.
Yeah, so we get a narration where in that opening bit where the people are like, the little bit of civilization, they find hiding wherever they can. So they apparently found hiding in a hospital. But before we go to the hospital, we have to meet the hunters. And
there's a lot of walking in slow motion.
Steven Seagal, this is an hour and 30-minute movie. And Steven Seagal's in it for 25 minutes, maybe?
No, I wouldn't even. I say I'm not even joking when I say 10 minutes.
You think 10? I think it's at least 20.
And a lot of that's in slow motion.
Yeah.
Or he's just so fat that he looks like he's moving in slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell.
Like, again, watch the 1 minute long trailer. You saw every scene he was in that 1 minute trailer.
Right.
And actually, he's more active in the trailer.
Yeah, there's a lot more katana swinging.
Yeah. You don't see him swing the sword in this. Like, in this first scene where we get to meet him, first of all, they look like they walked out of, like, an early 2000s Hot Topic or some kind of,
it
like,
was
leather store.
Like a Matrix ripoff. Yeah.
Oh, my God. So Matrixy. But then they're also carrying, like, mall ninja weapons.
Yeah.
Like later on, you get to see that one guy
Some
with
weird Klingon knife thing.
Oh my god! And you get that slow motion jump. Oh my god!
But Seagal had a katana, which we all know is Japanese for sword.
Yeah, everybody knows
And
that.
it's so fucking lame that even in the credits, all the there are 4 hunters, and 2 of them, the female ones, I noticed, don't even get names.
Don't even get names.
It's just like Seagal gets a name and the one guy gets a name, and they're just like, you're just female number 1, female number 2.
So we get to see Steven, of course, walk up, or Tao.
Yes,
as
Tao.
he's still going for the Asian bits these
Of course,
days.
Nang Chen, baby.
So Tao is
That's still intact, by the way. I want everyone to know he does have a Nang Chen in this.
and
it looks magnificent.
When
you can see it, because the movie is so fucking dark.
I was going to say, when you can see it. But we get to see him walk up. There's a little child there. He's like, I think I'll be safe here on the streets in the middle of the night. Of course, a fucking infected person tries to get him, and Stevie saves the day. And he tells this kid, where is it here? Get this boy out of here. We're not here to decide who's right or wrong. We're here to decide who lives or dies. It's constantly sounding like he's about to have a heart attack. Or he just finished a couple hoagies.
Eerily like fascist. Like, we don't care who's right or wrong. We're just going to murder. We're judge, jury, executioner.
Exactly. It's like, how do you... It's beside the point. So we're going to go back to our random travelers. We got 2 different groups in the hospital.
We started out with a couple. We started out with the bland British guy, Morgan, and his even blander girlfriend, Dorothy.
I didn't even know their names.
Yeah, well, I wrote them down. They're all listed as
I got
bland.
them here, thanks to you. But
Yeah.
I still can't.
I had to look this up, too.
You had to add the details to the name to try to make them more relevant.
Yeah, I had trouble filling this out, to be honest with you. I was like, okay, who was that again? Because a lot of them didn't even have pictures in their IMDb because they're such nobodies.
Yeah.
But I figured it out. Or if I did, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
So Dorothy, she's having a nightmare. She's having the same... that dog squeaker toy is probably more exciting than what this movie we're talking about.
It is.
So she's having a nightmare, that same stock footage of the infected playing with the guts, and then she wakes up, and they're in a hospital. And we know there's a generator running this hospital.
Yeah.
And... you think you would turn off the giant neon V that they had on the outside of the building?
That's all they had lit up.
Especially since you want to hide. You want to be on the down low.
There's no lights in the hospital.
Yeah, but they have this giant neon V that's covers half of the outside of the hospital. That's brightly lit.
Yeah, it looks more like a sign for the Toronto Raptors basketball team or something. It doesn't look like any kind of advertisement for a hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, have you ever seen a hospital that had a giant neon sign? This is a really weird hospital.
If it has one, it's like a cross.
And his hospital is so weird. It also has a security door it's on a timer, which we learned. So these people have been living in the hospital a few days because there's food, as they point out, and they bump into another gang of boring people.
Oh my god!
So we get Amelia, who's like the bland, like, I've seen it all. She's cynic. She's just like, oh, the world's shit. I have no hope. And we got Dylan, who's just a bland guy who's not British. That's what you'll know about Dylan.
That's disqualified.
And then we got Ricky, who's just a bland douchebag junkie piece of shit. And we got Charlotte, who's a little girl who has pneumonia at the beginning of the movie, and it magically goes away.
Was it pneumonia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought she had the coke sniffles because she was rubbing her nose.
I thought she was supposed to be infected. I thought she was.
I think they were playing with that idea,
but
then they were like, "Fuck it, who cares?"
We don't want to have Steven Seagal. They probably have a scene where Steven Seagal attacks the girl, but he was supposed to feign it, and he actually just beat the girl in the face.
And it's like, that's what you get for doing that.
You really convinced me, so I'm sorry I hit you.
He would no. Sensei Seagal would never say sorry about anything.
This is a good point. Sensei Seagal would. He would be like, "What did we learn here today?"
Exactly. He'd put it on her. It was your fault.
Oh boy.
So they meet up and they're like, "Hey, why don't we leave? The generator's going to die any minute now. We got to go before this door locks us out."
We've yet to see them use any power whatsoever. Not a single fucking light's on. But they're like, yeah, the generator's going to die any minute now.
Yeah, they just figured that out. And then they're like, we got to get the fuck out of here because for some reason they know. Because this is the main problem me and Griff had with this movie. All right, the whole point is them getting out of this hospital. But they have no trouble getting into the hospital. They're at the top floor. So they got in with no issues, didn't run any infected. But now we got to get the fuck out immediately.
And the other part that bugs me about it, the infected eat blood. They're not dumb zombies. Like, they know how to find blood.
Well, they're evolving. Remember that.
And yes, they are slowly evolving. So you have like your really dumb ones, but like almost every example we have in the hospital is smart or smarter.
Right.
They're all in there. They've been there for days, and somehow they've gone unnoticed. Like, everything logically about this movie, like, you have to suspend some, belief.
Yeah, I'll suspend it enough that there's vampires. But...
Yeah, but the fact that they're surrounded completely, I fucking, why? Why are we going on this journey? Fucking, anyways.
So, like, I guess, and then the hunters stumble on the hospital, and they sense, I don't know why they even know people are up there, but I guess they're cleaning out the area, because the army wants all the non-infected taken out. And this is what hunters do, because apparently our army's so inept they can't just come in. We need to send 4 people in to clean out a city.
They weren't even I thought the army sent them in, but they literally just roam by themselves. And
they were working in concert with Cross, who was the bland white army guy, unlike the bland black army guy we'll meet later.
This is true, and I think he brought him in just because they were going to bomb the place. So they were like, just do a quick sweep for me, see if there's any more survivors.
Of course, he's probably tapping into his 9 powers of the ninja, and he senses there's some life forces in there in that hospital. Sure. So they go in there too, and fuck, man.
Well, it takes Tao and them kind of long to get in and get up. Like, it's probably half an hour in the movie, because again, we see Steven Seagal like very rarely, and anytime we see him, it's like he's walking. He might be walking a little more briskly in some scenes, but for the most part, he's just walking with his little ragtag crew.
Well, there's a reason, because they're urban legends.
Yeah, they're urban legends.
Like, nobody has seen a hunter and survived.
Right. So, the 5 nobodies, or is there 6 nobodies? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6.
There's 6. So the 6 nobodies are just, wandering around. They see like that blood smeared, there is no God. And who's the one girl? Amelia? Yeah, Amelia starts getting all cynical and like, there is no God. I was expecting Seagal to do like a talk about God, because he likes to do that. Like with his kid in Hard to Kill, when he's like, no, let's say our prayer together.
Well, he probably would if he had been in that scene, but...
Yeah, I totally thought they were going to build up to that.
Yeah, so, like...
There's no building up in this movie.
Yeah, it's just a series of just boring attack scenes.
Yeah, it really is. It's just hodgepodge together. There's not even we don't have a villain or anything yet.
Yeah, the entire, set is probably, 4 hallways that they keep, redressing to make look a little different.
Yeah.
So... Well, they're just fuck. So they're.
Yeah, I know, right? You can't remember shit.
Because they have to...
So they complain about God, and then we finally get like a new jump scare while this whole group's together.
Oh yeah, we do have this. I don't know if this is the same. They all blend into me, so I'm not gonna be talking about the same scene you're talking about. But there is a hunter scene, action scene, where Taggart, who's the few hunters actually has a name in this movie.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know, was he like Samoan, or he looks, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit ahead, but it doesn't matter.
He's like a big dude, and he sees this woman crying in this hospital room, and he sees a guy standing there. Was the guy standing there supposed to be infected? Because he's just standing there, and he's like, in his mind, he thinks the guy is going to attack the girl, and the girl's not infected.
Yeah.
But of course, as we all know, the girl is infected. So he comes in, to save her. So first of all, he kills the guy, because the guy's, standing in a door, in front of a window, and he busts through the window of the door, rips his head through, slashes his throat. I thought the guy was, a normal guy.
Yeah.
But why would he, why would he be,
I'm surprised you managed to get that many details out of it, because I couldn't fucking see anything.
But then, well, of course, naturally, she turns out she's infected, and it's like a trap, they say, because they're evolving, remember?
Yeah, this is true.
And he whips out his mall ninja weapon, which is these little dagger type things.
Yeah, they look more like protractors, I want to call them, like the thing you use to measure angles.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, they look like he had protractor knives.
Maybe they just because at this point, Seagal's so fat, we need some guy who can actually do a scene that's not super close up of his face. You know? So we let this guy do that. So he's just kicking their asses.
Did we get any other action scene, or was this pretty much it?
No, there wasn't. At the end, Taggart has another scene. Remember
Okay,
the grenade?
I thought he died at this part. Well, I was pretty surprised when I saw.
No. Yeah, but no, because that actually is a good scene. Because remember, it's a grenade scene.
Yes, that was the one good scene.
Yeah, he does that because
The oxygen tank, I
yeah,
think.
Yeah, but so we're getting ahead of ourselves. But who cares? So they're just basically stumbling around for an hour, bumping into people. I love like we're told right at the beginning of this movie. For some reason, there's a timed security lock on this fucking door, and the only way they can get out. They can't. Apparently, they can't follow the way they came in. For some reason.
Spoiler alert, it's a fucking garage door like you would have on your house that was built in the 60s where you just turn the handle and lift.
Yeah, I have one like that at my house. Exactly. And it's like, so they had, like, once again, they had no trouble. They met no infected getting into there, but then, like, how about just turning around and going the way you fucking came in? No, we can't do that. We have to only way we can get out, except for the way we got in just 5 minutes ago, is through the security door, because we all know hospitals have security doors with timers on them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And we have to get out because the generator is going to go out. Who's been putting fuel in these generators all this time? I have no idea.
They're trying so hard to build up. Like, they give you no reason to be concerned with any of these people because I don't give a shit about any of them. I barely even know their names. And then they're trying to like force this like what's the word I'm going for here? This fear in you by like, oh, the timer's gonna go off. They don't even flash
urgency.
Yeah. They don't even like show you like a little clock. They should have been doing cuts to the door with the clock or something.
Well, there was actually the sad thing is there was a timer. They didn't cut to it like you said, but there was when they hit the 30-minute mark. There was a time.
No, that was the bomb, I thought.
No, there was no bomb.
No, I thought that was the military. We were going to drop the bomb.
No, they were no. They were just going to drop missiles from a jet.
Wow, it's so weird that I'm confused by this movie because, it's so goddamn straightforward.
Dude, like, yeah, I know. Because Griff normally does the notes for these things, and then I'll just, like, punch him up and throw a couple details in, and I didn't know what the fuck you were. I was like, I had to look at my notes, your notes. I was still confused.
Dude. I was very
because there's a lot of just pointless jump scare like scenes where they attack and they get away. So yeah, but anyway, so we're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here, man. And then like, hey, let's stop and have a meal. Yeah. So they stop in the cafeteria and like fucking waste an hour just fucking around.
Of course, it's during the cafeteria scene where I thought shit was about to get real. I thought this was going to be our first like, oh shit, someone in our group's infected because they point to what's his name, Ricky. He's the junkie.
Ricky, junkie piece of shit.
So they point to Rick and they're like, "You're bleeding, man." And
what happened was he had to take a shit. So he goes in the bathroom, and then he has a heart-to-heart talk with Morgan, our boring British guy.
Okay.
I forget what they were talking about. It doesn't matter. And then they get attacked. Another stall had an infected in it.
Oh.
And that's where Ricky gets, like, scratched or whatever.
Okay.
Because we still don't even know how this disease travels.
I remember more of this movie than I feel like most of our movies.
Well, I don't know why.
This clearly had an impact on
No,
you.
I wasn't riveted at all. But I'm actually, if I didn't have these notes in front of my face right now, I have no fucking idea what happened.
I would love to hear our 10-minute episode of just, they walked in hallways and they chopped some people. Steven Seagal said some things.
So, but you're right. Ricky gets caught, and they're
Okay.
like, "Oh, he's like, oh man, we know that he's infected."
Yeah.
But then again, we don't because it never pays off. There's
like
no payoff for this. He never becomes infected.
No, there is no payoff. In fact, the only payoff from that scene, besides like, you guys, I think we should stick together, was the guy who they were just eating like, Chef Boyardee out of the can, which I didn't think hospital stocked, but hey, what do I know?
It was like a cafeteria, and there were cans lined up on the cafeteria line. Which I've never seen that.
But here's what I love: they make a point to take a shot of the one guy throwing the can over his shoulder, and it goes in the wastebasket. That's what I remember from this
I don't remember
movie.
that at all, so I'm glad you remember that.
That part was fucking dope. That's the only thing.
Is that Ricky who did that?
No, it was one of these other bland characters. That
probably Dylan. That sounds like a Dylan move.
It sounds like a Dylan move.
So, so then we get this like boring scene where they're like, "Hey, man, we're the monsters now because we're the minority.
Why?
And basically, they're saying minorities are monsters."
Why does every fucking horror movie want to do this? Where it's like when
we're the
they're
Walking
infected?
Dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to do this whole message of, well, technically, we're the monsters now.
Then I don't know. the timelines. I'm gonna throw that out the window. I'm just gonna say what I remember.
We did get a rule during that kitchen break.
Did we?
That they could smell blood.
Okay,
So,
but
that
never pays off either.
it doesn't pay off.
So then we cut to our boy Cross, who's the guy, the one army guy with sense, who is working with the hunters.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to the great Keith David, we all know from They Live, and he was also in my favorite horror movie last week, like I said, The Thing. He shows up as Lieutenant Waters, and of course he's the stick up his ass army guy. Like, what, he's like, we're gonna bomb this place. He's like, wait, we got hunters there. And like, I don't give a fuck. All right, we need to sterilize this area. He's like, just give them till dawn. Like, okay, I'll do it. Cut to the boring fucking hospital again.
Oh my god. And of course they're just kind of meandering through the halls, looking for more jump scares for us. I think we get a nice cut of Steven just still walking through, turning corners very quickly.
Also, the hunters had no trouble getting to the top of the hospital again and then coming back down.
They barely have, nobody bothers the hunters.
So basically, the route you need to take in this hospital is the one you use to get in the fucking hospital.
Instead
because nobody has any issues getting into the hospital.
Instead of walking through every fucking little patient room and everything, and then it's a kitchen.
Yeah, it's like
and a bathroom.
how fucking long would it take to just go down 5 flights of steps?
They didn't oh shit, this hallway's been destroyed, or oh look, there's a guy right there. There's nothing. They just wander into rooms for no apparent
They're like, guys,
reason.
there's a stairwell right here. Why are we wandering through rooms?
Yeah.
Oh,
No
we're
fucking
the Walking
sense.
Dead now.
So this is again. They look into a room. They see what they presume to be a dead person.
Yeah,
They're like,
it's like a gurney with a towel with blood on it.
And they're like, you got fucking Fred from Scooby-Doo. It's just like, gang, we got to investigate this. And everyone's just like, well, Fred, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but...
No, I'd say it was more... Ricky's more of a Shaggy, because
Ricky,
Ricky goes to check it out, because Ricky's the drug addict.
Yeah, Ricky actually pulls the sheet back?
Yes, and then it's just some fucking cans of
he must
Chef
have had a
Boyardee
Scooby
again.
snack. Yeah.
And he's like, huh, nothing. And then, of course, there's not. That's when the infected jump out. So we get a boring scene, but the point of this scene, if there's any point to this movie, is to separate everybody.
Oh, yeah, this is where we... Yeah.
So the boring British guy and his boring girlfriend and the little girl go one way, out in one door, and the rest of the guys go out the other door.
Yeah. And so this is where we finally get something kind of interesting, because I think it was Dylan who was by himself, right?
No, he was with Ricky and Amelia.
Who ended up by himself that ends up with the villain?
Dylan does.
That's what I said,
well,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. But but you said he got separated. He did not get separated. What happens is he's like, okay, just keep in mind, we need to get the fuck out of here. We've just been attacked 5 times. I gotta go wash my hands.
Oh, okay.
So he goes in the bathroom, washes his
course.
hands, and he meets this creepy, Eastern European looking dude with long hair. He's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what's up? Back to you.
How many people are you here with? And he's like, 3. And the creepy guy's just like, that's a really good number.
Do you have any weapons? No.
You're gonna go a long way with 3. No more, no less. 3's the number you want. And the guy's just like, hey, do you mind if I join you? And then this is probably one of the other good things they do.
The guy, you know what the guy reminded me of? He reminded me of Tommy Wiseau.
I was gonna say Tommy Wiseau. It's like they went for the budget Tommy Wiseau, which is great because he's better than Tommy Wiseau. I was laughing to myself today because I was like, that's Tommy Wiseau, but good, but also cheaper somehow because Tommy Wiseau has a head on his shoulders now, or more. What I meant was ego.
Right.
But, so yeah, you get a cutaway. You don't see it happen, but he fucking clunks the guy in the head.
Yeah, and then drags him away to this room.
Ooh.
Another empty fucking room.
But we should probably go investigate all the rooms on our way out.
And meanwhile, while all this is happening, we cut back to the hunters, basically following the same path our group has followed, but they're killing everything in their path.
Yeah.
Very boring, very slow-mo.
We see some guy getting devoured, some people getting attacked. But then something good finally happens. Seagal's group finally meets up with some of the survivors.
Yeah.
So we got them. They're hanging out, and
there's always a scene. They're all separated, and so there's a scene where they're about to be like, "Oh shit, this is where the survivors get killed," and then the hunters show up, and they just kill everybody in sight, and they rescue them, and then so they're basically, it's like a video game. They're picking up members of the group, through each room. except for Dylan, who at this time is tied up and on a gurney with his mouth gagged, and Tommy Wiseau.
You see, I couldn't even fucking remember who it was in the notes. I was like, Charlie? I fucking guessed. Is there even a Charlie in this movie? There isn't.
No.
So I just threw Charlie.
Well, I don't, honestly, I think rarely are names even used.
No, they
Ricky's was, but.
They don't, they don't really use names at all, which makes it more difficult. And the fact that they don't fucking make an interesting character.
So what we learn in this scene is that Tommy is infected, but he looks normal.
Yeah.
And we learn his daughter is also infected, and she looks normal.
Oh, she does look creepy.
Well,
they do that right.
Yeah, well, she's a little girl, and they're all creepy.
Yeah. They do a good job of making her look like a creep.
And he's like, I'm going to feed you to my daughter.
I think they gave her crazy teeth, too. Yeah, they did.
They gave
so
her
she did look gnarly. It was probably the only creepy good thing
well,
they did.
She kept her mouth shut. She looked all right. So that was the thing, because he was saying, they're evolving.
Yeah.
You know, now we look like you. So technically, I guess they're back to being the monsters, because they look like us now. Because we're the monsters.
Yeah.
And now they're the monsters again.
So we get a couple more army expositions here. We got to find out.
He's like, they don't have till dawn. We're gonna call in the strike right now. We need more time.
Yeah, we gotta vaccine the area, and there's no vaccine, and so we're just gonna have to bomb it.
You're gonna carpet bomb it. So at this time, the little girl Charlotte, who I don't think her name's ever mentioned in the movie, but it's in the IMDb. So she she gets separated from everybody. So she's a little girl. By the way, she was had pneumonia at the beginning. She's totally fine now.
Yeah, she's good,
but not so fine that she's like, I'm gonna take a nap. I don't think even if I was dead tired, I could take a nap in a hospital with fucking infected people.
You think your adrenaline would be rushing a little bit? You've been attacked 5 times in the last
adrenaline
hour.
crash, man.
Maybe that's it. She's got that pneumonia.
Yeah.
Adrenaline, that's gotta be better.
So she's like, I'm gonna take a nap. So then this creepy pedo infected comes out and starts stroking her face or some shit. I don't know what the fuck he was planning on doing.
Okay, that was creepy too. They did a good job of that.
Well, any child molesting is creepy.
Yeah.
So,
They were like, we don't know how to make things scary, so let's just get this guy. He looks like your typical creeper. He's got a nice button up, but it's like a Tommy Bahama type shirt. It's all stained up with blood. He's got cargo shorts on.
and he's got black socks with sandals.
Oh, God, it's gross.
Balding.
So he comes up, and he's just caressing her face and just oh, God, I can't believe that.
But just, thankfully, just before she's about to get Lord knows what,
Sensei Seagal.
Tao shows up, kills the motherfucker. And this is where we learn, he kills him, and he goes, my name is Tao. This is where we first learn his name is Tao. And we're all and there's this dramatic music, and we're supposed to be holy shit, it's Tao, fuck yeah. He's this classic character that we all know. And we're like, who the fuck is Tao?
I think there's got to be some punch up out there somewhere from Seagal where he's every time it cuts to the military, they have to be we got our best guy Tao in there. Tao, and then go into some deep theory about how great Tao is and how they saw him take out all of the Eastern Seaboard once with a hand tied behind his back, carrying a child in the other hand.
So then I guess Tao finds Dylan, who's just about to be eaten by the little girl. So he killed, or no, I don't even think it's him.
Villain's still alive at that point.
Yeah, but then he runs in on him.
Yeah,
and he kills the villain.
Yes.
And then, like a gentleman, he tells the female hunter that has no name, you take care of the little girl.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
He just, walks out of the room with the little girl just staring there who watched her dad just die.
And he died just like Tommy Wiseau at the end of the room. It was a very dramatic scene. We did it better.
They really did.
You're killing me, Tao!
You're tore me apart! So... He leaves one of the hunter women, who of course has no name.
Hunter, I think she was Hunter number 2.
Hunter 2?
Female Hunter number 2.
Female Hunter number 2, as in the credits.
Yeah.
So she has we don't even see her take care of the little girl.
Well, there's some things you don't show on.
Yeah,
film,
it's true.
Child murder is one of them.
You just hear the little girl going, and then a knife and throat slitting and
right. Because that's also another thing I want to point out. Unlike vampires, you can only kill with a stake or something you can just kill these guys like any other person. You can just shoot them. You can stab them.
There is nothing holding these guys.
There's no supernatural elements to these guys at all. They just like to drink blood, and they're evolving.
Millhouse, you motherfucker, get over here!
All right. That's just Griff taking a chew toy away from his dog.
We needed that.
We
Because
did.
that's more excitement in this.
It broke the tension.
Was that a good jump scare? You know, like,
It was.
Maybe people weren't expecting me to practically kick the table over to grab that toy from the fucking dog.
It got my heart racing more than that fucking movie did.
I'm just gonna really work in the Screaming Eagles to scare the shit out of people.
So, oh fuck. So they're killed. So we still got to get out. We're all together now as a group, and this is okay. They're in a hospital, but there's a room in the hospital filled with mannequins for some reason. Because we got to have that one scene where you see a face and it's not a mannequin, it's an infected. We got to have that cheesy fucking played out scene, and we get it. And this is where we lose poor Ricky the junkie.
Poor Ricky. I mean, he was fucking just like popping pills and smoking weed like a fucking beast. I don't know.
I don't know. He was very timely. I think he had Oxycontin addiction because he was popping pills.
He was popping a lot of pills.
So he gets killed. Who the fuck cares? Cut to the generator. Now we finally get the generator.
Yeah.
We see the 30-minute readout.
Yeah. So
and this 30 minutes feels like 2 hours.
Okay, so let's see. Van tries to reason with the blonde chick. Oh yeah, where the blonde girl. What was her name? Sassy. Dorothy. So Dorothy, at some point, do you remember how she gets split off?
No, and I don't care.
No.
She got split off with the little girl, and I forget how they got separated. But what happens is she gets chased by an infected, and then he starts talking to her.
Yeah, she closes herself behind the door and locks it, but the window was broke open.
Yeah, and I don't know how it was like a door with a doorknob. Yet she stopped it with a bar. Like I don't know if that was a bar. But so then he's like, "Hey man, just like." Give up. We're the new, like, I don't even remember what he said, but it was something like that. Like, we're going to take over the world. Be one of us, and that kind of shit.
You're just delaying the inevitable. We're going to get you. We're going to fucking tear your throat out. Fucking you're not solving mysteries anymore. Fucking Fred.
And then she takes off, and I think she runs into Toe. I don't fucking care anymore. But
I don't even remember how she gets out of it.
I think she just runs away. She runs into Tao. Tao basically rescues everybody.
Yeah, Tao is somehow, like you.
And he wrestles it. He rescues everybody very tightly close up. Like, you never see Seagal's body move at all in this movie. It's very tight, like close-ups of his face and swinging the sword.
Again, do yourselves a favor. Watch the 1-minute trailer.
Yeah,
we're doing a good enough job. You know. This is obviously a very loose episode here, but we're doing a great job describing this movie because it's fucking
pointless. Yeah.
So
once again, we apologize, but the show must go on. So this is where we get it. We do get a good action scene here.
Finally,
because of course at this point, I don't know, fucking Steven Seagal's gout was acting up, so we have to have our man Taggart like take over because he's the only guy who can do a real action scene. So he's just rushing in a mob of infected with his fucking Klingon knives, slicing and dicing, and then he meets like a big like giant one, and he's like, "Oh shit, you're a big guy."
Of course.
And then he's like fucking with them, and then the big guy gets the advantage of him because he's a big guy. So he's like pinning him down. So Target whoops out one of his grenades, and then does he like shove it in his mouth? I don't remember, but
I thought it was like an oxygen tank or something. But either way. He
picks the grenade up with something. It might have been a tank because he like pops it on the end of it, and then he I think he shoves it in his mouth. I don't fucking know.
All I know, I thought it got into his belly. I thought he like shoved it.
He might have done that.
I thought he had like an open belly and he just like shoved it in there.
That's totally possible. So we get the great scene where
the best scene in the movie.
All the infected are milling around the guy who's got the grenade shoved in his ass, and he just explodes, and then he gets blown in half. And that was a pretty decent scene.
Of course, the explosion blows him out the door, and he just happens to meet up with everybody else. Oh, what happened to you? Well, I just needed to catch a lift.
And it's a great segue because this is where they finally find the elevator.
See what I did there? They found the elevator. If people don't realize, lift is what they call the elevator over across the pond.
Jolly old England.
Jolly old England. So
they finally find this elevator that I assume the elevator went to the top floor. They could have used the elevator the whole time, but for some reason they had to wander around the hospital.
Well, did they even go down a floor during the whole scene?
This scene totally confused me. I still don't know what happened in it.
No
They
idea.
stop and they're like, "Oh shit!" By the way, while this is happening, while they're getting in the elevator, fortunately, one of the female hunters gets killed. Like she's just about to get in the door, and they grab her.
Oh,
and
they
pull
snatch her
and
out.
literally, the door just closed. They could rescue her, but they're like, "Fuck her."
Yeah.
Let her. She can handle it herself.
Yeah.
So she gets killed. The great bond you hunters have.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
know.
too late.
Steven just like, we'll come back for the duster later. I can't buy another one.
Like that's gonna fit on him.
Well, he knows it's not going to fit
I
on
could
him.
make a sweet headband out of that.
But he's looking at what's her face girl,
The little girl, like you could be a
yeah,
hunter apprentice.
like I'll take you with me and I'll
take
take
you under my wing. You know, so why are we talking like this? Because did you notice he talked in a very like borderline offensive black guy voice to it?
You heard black guy voice. I heard
did.
him just
No, he was
doing
like,
his normal.
Let me tell you something. Like it was like, what the fuck was that? Like
I heard
it
that-
came out of nowhere. Like I agree with you. He was normal Seagal for most of the movie, but
Yeah.
near the end,
Yeah, exactly. During the end, when things heated up, I can't even say that ever happened, but he did start to kind of bring it up a little bit.
like the black scent really started. Like
Yeah,
and it was like
'cause I was
But hey, as we learned in our first Steven Seagal movie,
Yeah.
he grew up on the mean streets of Detroit playing the blues. So
Mean streets of
I mean,
Detroit.
he knows what it's about. So we're gonna go back to this boring fucking this confusing elevator scene. So it stops almost like halfway down the floor. It stops, and they're like, "There's got to be a hatch here somewhere."
There was all those shots of like the gears of the elevator too.
Yeah.
I thought they were building something up, but no, it just stops. And we're like,
Yeah.
of course it fucking stops. We know it's gonna stop.
And then brilliant Steven Seagal says there has to be a hatch somewhere. And oh, there is in the floor. And they open it, and they're like probably a floor and a half above ground level, and it's filled with water. And then Morgan goes.
Oh, this is the best. This is the best.
So Morgan, who's like our bland British guy, he's like, "Hey, I'm not infected. I'll go down there." For what? What the fuck are you going to do?
He's not a hunter either. Like he's not this badass who goes around killing these guys.
How do you fix the elevator by going down to the bottom floor? I don't get what the point of the scene was. Because of course, while he's down there, there's some infected in the water, and they jump up
Immediately.
and they kill him, and then so I guess the elevator god needed a sacrifice because once the guy dies, the elevator starts working again.
Yeah.
like nothing has been done to the
Well,
elevator.
like the whole time, the guys like got it at a distance. The hunters have guns. They could have shot the zombie vampire,
who knows
whatever
what it
the
was?
fuck it is. You know what?
Zompire.
This whole movie is basically a way for Steven Seagal to like defend himself against his assaulters. All these vampire things are just the people accusing him of sexual assault. I think it's a big metaphor.
Wow, that was okay.
I think it is. So he waits till it gets real close up there. It's already killed the guy. He could have saved him. Waits till it gets real close and then shoots it in the face. And it's like, I'm a hero. I know. Don't tell me.
Right.
But go ahead and say it a couple times.
He's
so
probably
you can
trying
hear it.
to eliminate the competition. You want to get all the guys like
This is. You bring up a
all
good
the women
point.
for himself.
What is there? 2 ladies in the group and a kid?
Yeah.
He could start a weird family.
And I think at this point there's still one female hunter. I don't remember.
There is still one female hunter.
Okay. So fuck.
I know.
So-
I know.
so-
we're almost done.
This is where the black scent comes out. He gives Dylan a gun. He's like,
Oh yeah.
"You not use one of these, boy."
And he's just like, yeah, I've gone on the range before. You know the rest of it?
No, I don't know. Nor do I care.
It's a fully automatic. I don't know where this voice is going. But he tells him it's a fully automatic. So, you pull it once, it's going to fire a lot. So be cautious. He's got to learn us on these guns, man.
And then they're like, okay. Then for some reason, they're not being chased at this point. But they're like, we got to be separated again. So the hunters separate from the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
So the Scooby Gang at this
They
time,
are a Scooby Gang.
It's cynical girl, boring British girlfriend, Dylan, and little girl. And I forget. Then fuck. So cynical girl gets attacked by a little boy. Okay, they're like, all right, we're almost out. Hey, there's a little boy, the creepy little boy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a little boy.
Yep.
Let me go up to him and let him bite me. And of course, that's what he does.
Yep.
So he infects a cynical girl. little girl, Dylan, and Dylan sees like an area with sunlight. It's like, we're out of here.
Yep.
And of course he gets attacked, and of course the blonde girl, little girl bail on him.
Yep.
And it's just, God, it's so fucking confusing. Like, literally, we're telling you the best way you can tell this movie. That's how confusing it is. It's just like people get separated, they get brought back together and separated again. Constantly.
I don't even think there's a script for this movie. I think the guy just yelled this at a director, and the director was like, "Do I have to make this?" And he's like, "Well, I already got you to sign an agreement, so yes, you are contractually, you have to do it." And so he was just trying to do it from memory, and you get all these.
Maybe that's it. They lost the script, and they're just making up as they go along.
I don't think there was a script.
We're just going to cut to the chase. We finally get to that flimsy garage door that they needed so badly to get out of. All we got left is Dylan in a semi-automatic. We got the little girl, and we got the blonde, boring British girlfriend. She's not British. Her boyfriend was British, who she didn't give a fuck about when he died. She's like, whatever. I've been with this guy for years. Fuck him.
Yeah.
And also, they're like just about to get out, but the infected come again. But hey, our boy Tao pops up, and he starts kataning the fuck out of him, stabs one, and then oh my god, he broke the katana.
Oh fuck!
That was the one loss that really affected me in this movie. Everyone else I could give a fuck about, but that katana was sweet ass flea market katana. Was awesome.
Oh, so they, of course, kill everybody. The door,
By the way, while this is going on, Lieutenant Waters, cool black guy from They Live, calls in the airstrike. They're going to do a surgical strike. And this strike is so surgical that they cut to the chase, they escape.
Yeah.
They get out, but they're literally 10 feet out the door by the time these missiles are. But it's such a surgical strike. Nobody gets killed, but they destroy the hospital, they destroy everything, they sterilize everything,
yeah.
And so then we're just left this one scene. It's just fucking the people, Scooby gang that's left. They're in a car. And they're like, I guess we're family now. And they just drive away, and we just watch sweet-ass Tao with his duster, and I think the other guy lived. The females are dead, and they just walk off into the sunset. Cut to credits.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you think listening to this episode was a chore, try watching that movie.
Oh my god.
I don't even. When we do these episodes, we actually want to encourage you to watch them. This one, don't watch. Don't watch
god,
this
don't watch
movie.
it. Watch the trailer.
That's it. That's all you need.
You'll be able to laugh at Seagal. You get full glimpse of him just walking around corners and quick cuts of him just like slashing. That's all he does in this movie. You get to see a very bloated Steven Seagal, but that's not a hard thing to find these days. You can pretty much
Well,
find
he's clean shaven. Now he's got that, like, it looks like he ate a big, like,
Was he
chocolate.
clean-shaven?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because now he looks like he just ate a big, like, chocolate piece of cake and the shit's on his face.
It looks like his beard is as painted on as his hair.
Yeah, he's got the Steve Harvey looking beard.
God, he's an unfortunate looking guy.
Hey, man. You got Kelly LeBrock in her prime, man. You know why? You saw what was that movie? What was the movie? Hard to Kill? Hard to Kill, yeah. He was packing underneath that hospital gown.
Oh, yeah. We didn't see it, but we saw her reaction to it.
You know what I suggest? We want you guys to listen to every episode, but I'm going to give you guys, obviously, if we're talking, you know what we're saying right now. You've listened to it, but if there's some way I could make you listen to our Hard to Kill episode again instead of this, I'd actually prefer that.
Oh, yeah. You'll notice in that episode it's fun because the movie's fun, but oh my god,
this was the longest 90 minutes. If you have a terminal disease and you want to extend your life, watch this movie because it'll feel like you added a year to your life.
That's true, man.
And this is why we're never going to do another 2000s movie unless it's really fucking reminiscent of 80s.
We do want to do a Neil Breen movie.
Yes, we will do a Neil Breen movie eventually, but we're going to check those out first.
We're going to watch one of those.
We're not going to make this mistake again.
Holy shit.
But like I said, we just wanted to give you like a classic action star in a horror movie, and there are not a lot of those, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's obvious why.
I so badly hope there would be a Jean-Claude horror movie, but there's not. If there is, I don't have no idea what it is.
I really thought this was going to be very much I've watched some of the 2000 Seagal movies, and they're cringy, but they're notable things happen to talk about.
Yeah, I was
this
shocked.
movie was.
I was
none of
shocked
those
being
things.
a 2000 Seagal movie. There wasn't like some rapper in it. Doesn't he always do movies with rappers now?
He does, yeah. He does like to have
Yeah.
rappers. That's funny.
I guess that's why he took on the black voice in this.
I will
this
say when I
episode.
searched for this movie, one of the few Google search results that came up, suggestions, was this movie in Hindi. Apparently Hindu people really.
Oh, India, they love
Yeah.
their Seagal, man.
So I don't know.
Well, I do want to say I want to apologize to our buddy Hair Metal Sean. I was gonna do Hair Metal Hate, but I totally forgot about it. I'm sorry, and because it probably would have livened up this episode. But I'll try to get it next episode for you, buddy, because he's
Yeah.
working on a really awesome project for us right now. We're not going to reveal any details, but it's fucking sweet.
It's gonna be a fun one. But we need it. Let's just end this. We'll stop. We'll delay. I don't know what I'm trying to say. We got it.
Well, what I'm trying to say is we're gonna bounce back so fucking hard with this next fucking movie.
I mean,
Griff, when I say the name Reb Brown, what do you think?
holy fuck! There's so many things, but one of them is fucking man, huge man. I can't remember all the names. Space Mutiny man.
Okay, I think of him being the real Captain America, the Captain America of my childhood.
Chunk McLarge, huge.
He played Captain America in a 70s TV movie. Awful, but he's still my Captain America. Fuck you, Chris Evans. Reb Brown.
He's in this movie.
Yes, because it's continuing our classic 80s action stars. We're going to do... Griff, I'm so excited for this movie. I have so much info on this movie. I'm going to fucking jizz it all over you next week.
Oh, boy.
You're going to be amazed. Which, of course, we're talking about Howling 2. And and it's Howling 2, not Halloween 2, Griff.
Yeah.
Because me and Griff almost had a fucking fist fight over this. It was like a who's on first, because we're trying to plan out like what episodes we're going to. Believe it or not, we do some preparation for this show, and we were like, what are we going to do this week, and I wanted Howling 2. He thought I said Halloween 2, and it was like who's on first. We were going. I was. You don't know how close you got getting punched in the face that night. It was fucking amazing. It was so annoying. But we're doing Howling 2. Reb Brown, one of my favorites, Christopher Lee collecting a paycheck, and I don't know. We might get Sean Pigeon to guest on this one because we're gonna also have the boobtacular Sybil Danning, who gets her tits out quite a bit in this movie.
Oh shit!
But if not, we're still. Griff, I don't want to get you too excited, but our boy Mike, who was on our great last episode, Maniac Cop, said he's a busy man, so I'm not making any promises. He might show up for this one because this is a classic. But if not, we got plenty of shit planned. I got some shit pull up in this brain of mine.
Oh.
I'm going to unload on you.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
So, sorry about this week. We're going to make up for next week. And as always, keep it warm.
Yep. Bye-bye.